Hi, it's Jen. Today I want to share with you a little pocket that I have been making, and I've been wanting to get this Thinlit die for a while and I just haven't done it. And I had seen on Facebook the other day, and I'm not sure of the lady's name at the present, but I will put her down below. She made a whole bunch of these pockets using a Thinlit on the Big Shot. And I'm like, well, that is such a great idea, doing stuff like that in bulk. And so I went to look to try to find a Thinlit, and looking at the prices, I thought, I don't know how much I'm going to use this, number one. Number two, I'm going to try to make it on my own. And so I'm going to share with you how I made this pocket without a Thinlit. And so here's one that I have completed. There's a bunch here that are all done. This one I did upside down, so I know sometimes we like to put little pockets in the corner of our pages, and I thought this would be really cute as a slip pocket and as a pocket to go on the top of a page. So I did that one, and then these are, it's all from a flower book, and this is all telling in the back, the glossary, just telling about all the different flowers and whatnot. And then I have yet to obviously decorate these ones, and then keep those there. And then this one I was gonna quickly share with you. Now this little tag here, I haven't glued it on yet because I haven't figured out what I want to stamp on it, but after I do, this is gonna go there. And then you just pull out the tag, and then here's that bag. Now, I didn't want to go crazy with the front because I really like, there's a flower illustration right here, and so I don't want to cover that up. And then if I'm using this as a floating pocket in my journal, on the back side it looks really nice as well. And so I didn't want to cover all this up by doing layering. That's why I'm thinking if I put this right here, I think that will be enough, and then one of these paper clips to attach it to a page. So I thought that was enough with this cluster down there. And then the tag, I will give the dimensions after. It's just a plain tag that you can journal on, and this swings. So this little pocket comes in handy if you want to just stick something in your that little flag. Handy in your journal if you want to just stick a little surprise or private note or whatever. So I thought I would just share with you how I did mine, and then if you want to do it, you can do it as well, just in case you don't have one of the Thinlits. So right now I'm working through a flower book, and as I was sitting trying to figure out something that I could be doing right now in bulk, I have a lot of books, and I thought doing some pockets of these pockets would be nice as well. And so this is coming from a flower book, and I'm going to have this going on the front. So whatever you want on the front of your pocket right here, you're going to want to put that, start with the back side first. And then I made myself a template, and then once you get your template made, all you have to do, and I just put this on back of Pinty's buffalo wings because I like it because it's sturdier than a cereal box. That's my excuse anyway, that we have to get Pinty's. Anyway, so I'm just going to trace this out and just share with you how easy this is. And because there's a line right here, I'm not going to bother tracing a line. And there we go. So I traced it on there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a rectangle out. So I'm going to bring my paper cutter here, and so I would suggest just cutting the rectangle. It's a lot easier because once you cut the rectangle, you don't have to use your paper trimmer anymore. You can just use a pair of scissors. So that's why I like to just get these rectangles, and you can do a whole bunch of pages at a time. I'm doing one here just to show you, but you could do a whole bunch at a time, but cutting these rectangles. And then when you're watching TV or whatever, you could just take your scissors and quickly cut, and you're good to go. So I'm going to take a pair of scissors and just cut along these lines, because you're not going to really see these lines here, and so that's why I'm just going to do it by hand. I took my time to make myself a template, just so that way when it comes to making these, it's pretty easy. And so I think that's why making a template is such a really good idea, and taking your time, so that way you don't have to do it every single time you want to make a bag. So our basic shape is cut out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to score a 1/2 inch. So you're going to have a wider side and a thinner side. So the wider side here, we're going to score at a 1/2 inch on the side, and then 1/2 inch on the bottom. So I'm going to keep that, and I'm going to go in like this first. And you want to be careful when you're scoring on book paper, because it's very delicate and it rips easy, I find. And now we're putting our template in like this, and then 1/2 inch all the way down. All right, so now that I have those done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold these 1/2 inch scores that I did, and at the bottom left hand corner there's going to be a small box here where the X is. You're going to want to cut that out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold along our score lines here, and then this little square here, we're going to just cut that out the best we could. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, you're not going to see it. All right, and then what we're going to do, so this flap here, I'm going to do an angle cut, so that way when I fold it over, it won't get in the way. So right here, I'm just going to, and I'm not going to do a huge one. I just need to do a small one. That's all that it will take. You don't need to go overboard with it. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing for the bottom flap. I'm going to do these diagonal cuts on either side of the ends right here. So I'm going to just, and again, you don't need to go too far, just because you want it to be clean, because this is going to be the flap on the back of your pocket, and it will be seen. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think there's beauty in the imperfect as well. All right, so there we go. And then before I go any further, I did have, oh, here we go. I did have this template here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, now this template here, this arch or half moon shape, whatever you like to call it. Now, when you put it up on your paper here, it's not going to fit on to corner of the paper, but that's okay, because what you want to do is just center it and leave, it's only going to be small gaps, and you're just going to trace it, and then that's it. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out. So this arch right here, we're cutting out. And I'm going to use my pinking shears. These ones are only for paper that I have. My mother bought them for me. She found them at a really good price. So she bought us one for us to put it in our paper crafting. So you can use any decorative scissors that you like. And here we go. Then what we're going to do, before we go any further, you're going to close these flaps. Now, the reason why I don't say where to score in the middle here is because I did pattern after pattern, and every time I did a score line, it just didn't work out. So what I found to be easier is to fold the flaps over, and then now we're going to match up this edge to the opposite edge. So we're just going to bring this up, and I'm going to make sure that it's straight edge to edge, and then fold, because I found that gave me a nicer fold than if I scored it. All right, and there you go. Then what we're going to do, so here's the front flap. We're going to take our pinking shears again, and we're going to cut all across the top here. Now, you don't need to do this part. If you like to keep it the way it is, you can. That's your, if that's your preference, that's okay. Whatever you want to design. And then I get really careful when it comes to the edge, just so that way I don't do anything. So all I'm trying to do here is to cut an angle where my pinking shears left. Okay, and then there you go. And your pocket is complete. That's how easy one of these pockets are. Now, I thought about, I can still do this if you want me to. Now, I'm going to have a link down below for the PDF for this. So when you click the link, it's just the PDF and you can download it. Now, I tried to do a JPEG, but it totally messed up my measurements. So that's why I'm only doing a PDF, because it gives you the exact size of this. So what I would suggest doing, printing it out and then tracing it on to a cereal box or whatever. And then now you have a template to make one of these little bags for your journals. So I'm going to carry on, and I'm going to just share how I put this together. I'm sure a lot of us already know how we do that, but for those who don't, so our bag is complete. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ink. So I had a lot of fun making this one up, actually. It was neat seeing it come together. And this one I'm going to have as a floating pocket, because look at how beautiful the back is. Isn't that nice? And then it wraps to the front, and then it gives you some of that information. I think that looks really pretty. And because it's going to be for a floating pocket, I'm going to want to make sure I ink all around my edges, even the back. Now, if you're planning on gluing this onto a page, you wouldn't need to worry about doing anything with the back part. But because I want to have this as a floating pocket, just because I love the picture, then I don't know if I said it, but I'm using archival ink and coffee. If I don't remember saying that. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the back. Now, I also ink the inside, just because when this is a floating pocket, you're going to be able to see inside your pocket when they open it. So I don't go crazy just because I don't want to take a lot of time. But I do it. Okay, now what else I would do is this outside flap, because you will see that. And you will see this one. All right, and so now we're ready to glue. And then once we're glued, I'll do some more inking, and I'm gonna have to stretch. I have I'm just using a glue stick. Now I did use liquid glue, and to be honest with you, your glue stick is going to serve you well because your pocket will stay flat. And so yeah, I would prefer to use my glue stick. Oh, I just did it wrong. That's okay. That's okay. We got this. We got this. Okay. I was in such a hurry and I was busy talking that I glued this, which shouldn't be, but that's okay. I'll wait till it dries. It's drying now. We will fix this because I love this envelope. Just gonna shake it here. I hope everybody is doing well. I've been seeing on, this is just a glue eraser. So I am just going to use this right now to get rid of all that glue. I will try to fast forward this bit if I can figure it out, but I can't promise. All right, so that's good. No more glue. Now, make sure you glue the right side. So you're going to want to, so here's your pocket. You're going to want to glue right here. So fold it in because we're going to, and I would put glue all around it. Okay. And then I'm just going to shut this, and then I'm going to bring the back of the pocket over to meet it. And there you go. Okay. And then I'm going to glue the bottom flap up. Now, you don't want to glue all the way up to your score line. Just glue 3/4 of an inch, like this, not 3/4 of an inch, but just 3/4 of the flap. So that way, nothing will get stuck to it, just in case. And there you go. And here's your pocket. Now, what I would do is I would just ink it a little bit darker on the edges. Now, it does have a little bit of a gusset, and if you don't like that, and if you want it more taut, so it has a little bit of a gusset there. What I would do before you glue it down, I wouldn't change the measurements at all. I would still score out of 1/2 inch, but once you have that scored, then I would cut a little bit off the flap, because then, actually no, you need to score it a little bit further in. I do it 1/4 inch more if you want it tauter. You know what I mean? Because then, yeah. No, you're not going to be able to, because then the pocket won't fit. Yeah, I'm happy with this. You're going to have to figure that one out. But it's not that taut, because once you get a tag inside, I think it looks great. And there is our awesome little bag. And so, to be honest with you, these work up. You should have seen how many I got done last night. They were working up really, really quick. And So all you need is, now I understand that some people might not have a printer. And if that is the case, I will come on here again and we can make this template. I'll give you my exact measurements for the template. And so another thing that you can do is you could take this arch piece, put it on your template, and then cut it out and then skip that step. But my thing was, I still may, because what you could do, because I want to keep this as easy as I can, because if you do like a quick rectangles, you're good to go, right? And so maybe what I could do, if I do that, when I cut it, I could cut the rectangle just right on top where the arch is. And then there's less work to do. So you could do that as well. It's just how easy you want to make this for yourself. Or I didn't find this very difficult. I find it very easy. And I was just going to let you know the dimensions for the tag that I use for inside of here. Now for in here, I wanted it to go inside because I want that little back piece to show. And so if you want your tag to fit in like that, the tag size I put on the back of here, it's 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. So 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. Now I'll write that on the pattern as well. So I will show you, I don't know where, oh here it is. And I'm going to share with you the PDF that you'll be downloading. It's very simplistic. I'm not very professional. I tried to do it on the computer and it didn't really work out, but this is the exact measurements. Now what I would suggest doing, cutting this rectangle out, when you're making your template, you want to be very specific. And so I would take your time and cut it out with your paper trimmer, every single line, because then you'll know it's straight, and then trace that onto your cardstock or cereal box or whatever, and then you'll get a perfect fitting every time. So yeah, and then so you're gonna get this, the outline of your pocket, and then I gave you the arch shape, but if you don't want that, you could easily trace around a lid or whatever, but I was just wanting to give you the exact measurement I used. And then on here too, before I oh, I already have it downloaded. Well, I'll just give you the measurement again for the tag, because you might want it different. But the tag that I used was 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. So this, I know it's a simplistic pattern, but I think once you get this pattern, it just makes it, you saw how easy it was to cut this out. It just makes it easy, and you don't need to buy a $21 Thinlit for something that you could quickly trace, and you could cut a bunch of rectangles out at a time, and then while you're watching something at night, you can easily glue these things together. Well, I hope you guys liked this little video. I know I haven't been on here for a while. I've been quite busy, but I hope you like this little pocket idea and the pocket template. That will be down below in the description box. I thank the lady who gave us all the inspiration on Facebook. I will have her name down below. I want to give her the credit for giving me this idea to get a whole bunch of these done. And then I thought, you know, I'm gonna make myself a template. And then if any of you have been wanting to make these pockets as well and don't have a Thinlit, here's a template for you, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope it gives you a lot of fun using up all of our books that we have lying around to use in our junk journals. Well, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you give these a try, and I hope you enjoy the template. I know it's a little simplistic, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. And if you don't have a printer and you want me to make another video giving specific measurements, I will do so. Well, thanks again for watching. Everyone, take care and stay safe.